Hey everybody, welcome along. This is Frilioth, and today we're checking out a new game for me which is called Hurtworld. Some of you may be familiar with it, some of you may not. Basically it's a survival crafting game that doesn't include zombies, but as the name would suggest, it's very hard and unforgiving. So the first order of business is to quickly gather a few resources, namely wood, flint, bit of stone, and as quickly as possible, because basically we're naked at the moment. Naked as a jaybird, apart from a pair of stylish shorts, and that's not going to keep me very warm. So I need to craft some tools, some basic tools, and then I need to get some supplies. Wood, as I said, wood, flint, stone, coal, stuff to make myself a fire, because initially that's going to keep me warm. And then on from that I'm going to need to build a base and to start fashioning better and better weapons. Now the game itself is apparently designed as to not get boring and not grindy the further you get into it, and we're on the very edge of the map at the moment. I don't know whether you saw that. I'm sure you did. That's the sort of the world edge. The closer you get to the middle, the harder it gets. The biomes change, the materials you can obtain change, and the wildlife you come up against changes. At the moment the wildlife around here are little rabbit fawn kind of things that are super quick. You just won't be able to catch them. The closer to the middle you get like bigger deer, you get boar, which are quite difficult, quite hard, and you can get yetis and things that spit venom at you. It does get very difficult, and you can also find cars. You find wrecks of cars in containers, and you can repair them and drive around in those, which is great. You can also fashion guns, automatic weapons, as well as your basic bow and arrow and spears and that sort of thing. So it sounds like it's going to be half decent. So I thought I'd give it a go. It's a PvP game, so if you're playing on a community server, then the chances are there's going to be somebody on there who's going to kill you, and that's just the way it is. The only way you can get around that is to spend money and get yourself on a private server with a few mates. Now the big logs, these logs, and the nodes, the big stacks of stone, these are your resource piles, but you can't get those, you can't punch them like the good old days of Minecraft. You have to fashion tools to do that. So we'll get up here. We've got 12 logs. I don't think that's going to be enough to get myself a basic hatchet. Is it going to be enough to get myself a basic flint hatchet? Oh, maybe I have got enough. So I'll get myself a flint hatchet, and that'll allow me to at least chop some wood. And a stone pick. I've got a stone pick as well. Brilliant. So I've crafted myself a couple of basic tools, and you can kill animals with these as well. Now my first impressions of this game are that it's really good. I'm loving the graphics. The gameplay is easy enough. The moving is very similar to most of the survival games I've played. The hotbar at the bottom's obviously familiar. So for the first episode, I think I'm probably going to be running around getting resources. Now, food is an issue. Cold is bad. Food is a real issue, because it's not abundant to start with. I mean, if you look down at the bottom left, within 17 minutes I'm going to die unless I find myself some food. Now there are a couple of sources of food. There's food you can grow in the form of, I think they're called narangas or oranges or norang. Anyway, I'll find out when I find one. I'll point it out. And then the second one is animals, where you can kill animals and get resources from animals. One good thing about the game, I suppose, is that the food resources do go off. You can't store them indefinitely. So if you get yourself a nice steak from a boar, you can't just sit on it forever until you're hungry. It will actually go off. I think it's about 20 minutes and it goes off, unless you build a refrigerator, and then it'll last a little bit longer. But still, it won't last forever. So that's a nice little touch, because obviously in the real world, your food doesn't last forever. Already I'm being told I'm hungry, so I really do need to find man, what was in that? Limestone and clay. I really do need to find some food, and I need to find some food PDQ. Now the narangas, the oranges, grow, I think, on the sides of the dunes, on the hills, which is why I'm up here now. You can fashion better tools to make this job easier. And with the I'll call them oranges until I find out the proper name, but with them they do drop pips as well, so you are able to replant them. See if you can find them in the first place. 12 minutes and I'm going to die, and I've got no food. See that there's a deer over there. It's an antelope kind of thing, which it will attack you. But I should be able to kill it with this hatchet if I can find it. Oh, where's it gone? Naked and running through the outback. What you don't want to be doing is going up against a boar when you're naked, because they will do you. Oh, there he is. Now this will hurt. This is definitely going to hurt. I've got a bit of leather and a steak, which is brilliant. So I'll grab a few more bits of wood, and then I'll make myself a fire, and we'll have a nice steak, and that should help me a little bit. Hopefully. So as I said, first impressions, I'm suitably impressed by it. It's going to be a challenge. Now hopefully I'm going to be joined by a few other people. We'll invite a few other people over, because the more the merrier, and we'll get a bit of a community going and see what happens. I think the green nodes are iron. You need iron for the more advanced weapons and tools and whatever. Oh, flint and stone. And they're all prefab villages. There's a road somewhere. I've got to find a road to start with. If you follow the road, you'll come to a village, and in the village there are containers, and in the containers you'll find vehicle parts and all kinds of good stuff. So I think that's the once we've eaten, and I will have to eat, and I keep saying it, and I'm going to get down to about 20 seconds worth of food before I do something about it, no doubt. I use the leather to craft cloth clothing to keep you warm, and it offers you protection against bad guys. Let's run up there for a second. You don't seem to tire though. Maybe that might have something to do with how quickly you consume food and everything, but at the moment it seems you can sprint everywhere and not get tired. So let's see if we can fashion ourselves a campfire. Flint and wood. A campfire. Put my campfire down.
I need to eat.
And I can light my campfire. Right now the steaks apparently take 20 seconds and it goes off in 20 minutes at room temperature. So there's no point in running around stockpiling your steak. Oh yeah, so tasty. You can also make your campfire out of wood coal as well, and that burns at a much higher temperature and it allows you to smelt iron ore. Right, I do know that where I am at the moment it's not too cold, so I probably won't die of cold here, but I do know that going forward, if you're left out in the open, even with a fire, certainly in the winter biomes, you'll die of cold pretty quick. So we'll just run around a little bit more, getting a few more resources. And as I say, the closer you get to the middle, the harder it gets to survive. Maybe even the nights are longer. I'm not sure whether that's the case or whether I've just misunderstood that. But it's certainly harsher. The closer you get to the middle, the harsher it gets. So you don't want to be running there straight away, because when you've only got pants on, coming up against a Yeti in the freezing cold, you're going to come out second best. There's no two ways about it. So I think what we'll do is we'll run around here for a little bit, we'll gather some resources and we'll build a base. We'll get a basic base set up. And then we'll build a few more resources and then we can start having a foray into the middle. I need to find a road though before I do anything else, don't I, really? You can also fashion a backpack. At the moment I think you've got, how many slots have you got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 slots to carry stuff in, and the stack sizes are quite high, so you can hold a fair amount of wood in each slot, for example. And apart from food, the oranges, and I will find one of those oranges on the side of the mountain somewhere. Look at that, I'm already cold. I'm cold already. Get myself back to the fire. I need to start fashioning some clothing, don't I? Running around in my shorts. The visuals are fantastic. You actually feel cold. I feel cold, which is brilliant. You do get immersed in it. It's fantastic. Very impressed. Suitably impressed so far. Now, to craft better weapons and better item and that sort of stuff, we need a crafting bench. Now, the only problem with a crafting bench here is that you can't take it with you unless you have a construction hammer. Which we don't have at the moment, but we're going to need a crafting bench because I've got a bit of leather, I think. Did I have a bit of leather? I've got 5 leather, so it should get me a basic t-shirt at least, or a pair of jeans or something. So we'll make a crafting bench. And if we've got to leave it, we've got to leave it. I'd rather not, because it's 20 wood, but then again, wood seems to be reasonably abundant. And we'll stick it down away from the fire. You can actually get heat stroke from the fire. Certainly the hotter fires, you get heat stroke. Right, gear. Can't get a backpack yet because I've got no string. I need tendons from animals to make string. But I can make some basic pants. Can I make anything else? String, 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 string. What about jeans? Worn jeans, I need string. Flannel shirt, I need a Sasquatch belt. Fantastic. Gas masks, chem suits, ball backpack. Okay, so at the moment I'm going to have a shitty t-shirt. Yeah, it's going to have to be that. Basic pants and a shitty t-shirt. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Basic pants and a shitty t-shirt. That'll give me some protection, won't it? Clearly. What do I look like? Oh yeah. Well, at least I don't look like I've just been born. I'll have a run off to see how quick I can. How quick I'm going to die of cold. Actually, the sun's coming up now. Let's go and take the rest of that wood off the fire. There's no point in burning a fire. No point in burning a fire when it's daytime unless you want to cook something. Come on, fella. Sorry and all that, but it's either you or me. Yay, tendon. Excellent. So there's some string. So as a first base, this wouldn't be a bad place to be. We've got resources that generate. They do actually generate over time and disappear, as that one did. And there does seem to be animals that I can catch. You can make traps, and I don't know whether you can catch those little fellas with traps, but you can make traps. Really could do with an orange, a meringue, not orang, norang. Anyway, whatever it's called, I need one so I can plant some around my base. So at least then I'm not going to be worried about starving every 2 minutes. Oh, it's raining. So I'm getting wet, which is another little twist to it. I think you get colder. You know, the cold affects you more when you're wet. I don't know what else is affected by you being wet, but it's not a nice feeling, is it really? And it's very easy to get lost. I mean, it's super easy to get lost. You can't. Oh look, there's an orange. What are they called? It's super easy to get lost, and you can't find your way back to your base. So it just is so easy. You can, if you get yourself an earth magnet, which you find in the rocks, you can craft yourself a compass. Which will direct you back to a specific location that you set, which we'll do later. Obviously I can't do that until I've got an earth magnet. Have I got an earth magnet? No. So to start with, we've just got to be careful not to get too far away. All I'm going to lose is a workbench. But still, it's when resources aren't easy to come by, you really shouldn't be leaving stuff behind unless you have to. And I'm already lost. Where am I? Well, am I up there? Was I up there? Or was I down here? I thought I was down here. I thought I was over there. So easy to get lost. At least it stopped raining. Am I up there, or am I actually lost? I'm actually lost. Well, I say lost. Fortunately, I've not built myself a house yet. That would be an absolute pain if you go to the trouble of building yourself a house only to lose it. I've done it before. Now you need limestone and you need stone to make concrete for a base for your house. You can't just build walls onto the floor. You need to actually build a base. Bit of amber. Am I not up there? I thought I was up there. My sense of direction's never been great. I don't know whether your tools wear out either. We'll see as we go, I suppose. It doesn't appear to be a wear bar on the tools, so maybe they do last forever. I don't know. We'll find out when it suddenly disintegrates, won't we? See a workbench up there? Just resign myself to the fact that I've lost it. I've lost it, let's move on. Is that a road? That could be the road. Certainly looks like a road. Some more of these geezers. Right, a road. Fabulous. There's loads of these fellas about. Again, like I said, it's all well and good filling your boots and getting loads of steak, but they will go off. Oh, give me a kick in. But you do need the leather, and the leather won't go off, so probably it's not a bad thing. You're best probably not trying to go up against more than one at a time. We will get a bow and arrow. Now we've got some tendons, we'll be able to fashion some bows and arrows. Some bows and arrows, a bow and arrow, bow and arrows even. And then we won't have to get too close to them. So I'm liking this area to start with. Actually, this is a nice little area, and it's by the road, so hopefully we won't get lost. So if we build ourselves a house, a base, a garage, whatever you want to call it, by the road, that should do to start with, shouldn't it? Some more leather, but I need some oranges. Now where do we build it? Do we build it next to a cliff face, or do we build it in the open? Let's build it here. Oh, it's a wild boar. We'll go up against a wild boar, but it is going to hurt me. But I need some animal fat, so we'll see how we do. See, he gave me a proper kicking. Animal fat, brilliant. And I do love the way it goes all dark when you're really injured. It starts going dark and everything. It's great. So we need to get ourselves a workbench. Let's get that note before it disappears. I'm in pain and everything. Right, get myself a workbench set up. and then we'll start crafting some stuff. Right, materials. Get some string. Brilliant, string and leather, lovely. I can hear a boar. There he is. Right, can I get a better weapon? Sharp spear, I need some iron, which I don't have at the moment. I've got some iron, but I don't have... I've got some iron ore, but I don't have any iron. So we'll get ourselves a spear. Which could come in handy. And then we want to build some kind of base, don't we? So we're going to need some concrete. And for concrete we need stone and limestone. So there's a bit of limestone, there's a bit of stone. We won't go mad to start with. We can add to it, so we won't go crazy with a base to start with. Oh, I need a hammer before I do anything, don't I? Oh man, I need a construction hammer. Construction hammer. I need iron ore, so I'm going to have to build a fire. Oh, can I build a fire pit? I need iron ore before I can build a fire pit. So I'm just going to have to build myself a fire. So if I build a fire over here, and put a bit of coal on it, that should be hot enough to smelt the iron on it. That iron ore, that's iron ore, and get a bit of coal in there. See, if you stand too close to you see the bottom left, I'm going to die of heat stroke in 2 minutes. So it's burning at about 500 degrees C, which is hot enough. I can throw the spear. Whether I'm any good at that, I don't want to be going up against a boar. I'm not. I'm a stupid or something. I'm some kind of idiot. Going up against a boar. So while my iron's smelting, I'll run off out and get some more resources. Well, I think we call it a day here, which it's not been bad for the first episode. I've not died. I've managed to gather quite a bit of stuff. I've managed to kill a couple of animals without injuring myself too badly, and I think we've found a place for our first base by the road. So if we end it here, we'll start the next episode, and I'll build a house. So thanks for watching. It's been great having you along. I hope you've enjoyed the first episode of Hurtworld. This is Frilioth, and I'm out of here.